Hey, what's up, everyone? What's good? What's good? What's good? Happy Wednesday to everyone who is here. And sorry for starting so late, too, just like when it comes to with this show, also, especially when it comes to just, starting on time. I was just making sure that my internet was working just because I had a power outage for a minute, but it didn't last long. But, I was not making any kind of excuses to why I'm so late, especially when it comes to this live stream also. And I welcome you guys to another Wellness Wednesday Solutions open discussion. So if you guys love to talk about wellness when it comes to wellness for the body, for the heart, for the mind, especially in our relationships, this is a place for you guys to share, with each other, to learn, to be entertained, to just, to take something out of it too, just like when it comes to having open discussions about wellness, especially when it comes to if it relates to with current events or pop culture, etc. too. So shout out to the people who are here and for those who are watching the replay too. I have some awesome things I want to share with you guys too. But if you guys ever want to just, have a question that you're curious about when it comes to current events or pop culture or just like when it comes to spirituality or just like with wellness too, you're more than welcome to do so too. So let's see who's here in the chat. What's up, Michelle? What's good? What's good? Hopefully you are doing well too. So thank you for being here too. And shout out to you also too. To Michelle, to anyone who is listening. And so yes, I'm doing good, Michelle. Just doing, I just had a power outage for just like a minute. Didn't last long. It was me and my dad were making sure that our connections are working too with our internet. Excuse me. So when it comes to just making sure that our internet is working, just when it comes to our internet connection, our Wi-Fi, just those kind of things too. I think it's okay now. I was just making sure that everything was back on. If I had to restart my computer and all that, I was like, shit. So when it comes to that shit, like I have to restart my computer. I just have to just throw down. Kind of have to do that. So and
that is a promise.
Goddamn promise. So I'm doing good. Hopefully everyone is doing well too, especially when it comes to, in general as well, just for those who are just staying healthy and safe out there, making money, staying healthy, especially when it comes to staying healthy, when it comes to ourselves, staying healthy with our body, with our heart, with our mind, especially too, and especially in our relationships with ourselves, with other people, and especially in our environment too, when it comes to practicing wellness and how we can really practicing wellness, in certain ways too, can really just take us far in life. But if you guys could hear my microphone, I just put it in a new spot so I could really have more room to move around and just I need to do some kind of Reiki kind of things or just if I need to do some backflips or anything like that. I'm not going to twerk no more. That's for the ladies to do that too. You guys are killing it out there with the dance floor, but you guys could hear me okay, feel free to let me know. So yeah, and she says I hear net crash Sunday night for a bit, but I wasn't home. Oh, okay. Gotcha. I hear you. Gotcha. Well, I'm glad the internet came back on for you in your area too, Michelle. And she says I got a notification on my phone. Oh shit. Okay. Well, at least you got alerted, so that's a good thing. So when it comes to that, you got alerted about the outage in your area. But I'm glad you're safe though, nonetheless. So I'm glad you're safe, Michelle. Hopefully your sister is doing well. She's got some awesome content, that she's producing with her videos, with her bird chirping and everything else too. And and it's just like just like when it comes to like what's can I say too, especially when it comes to wellness. Also, I think I was mentioning on Monday's live stream, I was just really talking about the loneliness epidemic. And I really want to continue to just really continue on that kind of topic also. And just really when it comes to just, when it comes to loneliness, and especially, when it comes to with wellness also, it's just like, I was just still doing some research about it too when it comes to wellness per se. Or it's the same with loneliness too with the topic. And it's just like, I was just really, I was just looking out on the YouTube. I just popped it up, and a video popped up on my search engine about the loneliness epidemic too. And especially when it comes to how people are sharing that, sharing their stories about, dealing with loneliness too. And I just really want to share a video with you guys too, if you guys are open to just, listening and just really, sharing your own feelings and thoughts about the video that I'm going to share with you guys on the screen too. So when it comes to that, and especially when it comes to, dealing with loneliness, especially if you're just, by yourself and you're just going through different things out there in your life. I mean, I totally get it because, life is so unpredictable, so crazy at the same time, but it's kind of like how we can really just, deal with that on an everyday kind of basis too, if that makes sense. If you're, no matter if you're rich, you got Tony Stark money, or if you're just, you're just an average person, just trying to, put a roof over your head, take care of your family, take care of yourself, pay the bills, stay healthy, those kind of things. Even just having fun in your life too. So yeah, definitely. And Michelle says that she's put on some. Yeah, she's been putting some interesting videos. It's really beautiful. So shout out to your sister. She's listening also. So yeah, your sister is doing some awesome stuff there, Michelle. And so let me see if I could put up the screen here too for you guys. I want to, besides sharing the video with you guys too, I want to, you guys want to just, watch too also that we might react to. I have some awesome collective cards that I pulled for the collective. Especially, I pulled them this morning too, and they've been sitting here for at least 7 hours straight. So, if you guys are open to just listening to kind of collective messages that we can take throughout our day too, especially throughout our week as well, and how we can really just practice balance from it in a healthy place also. I say in a healthy space, but I say in a healthy place too, if that makes sense. So yeah, let me see if I could share. Let me see if I could share the screen too. So let me see if I could go to it. So if you guys could see that on the screen too, feel free to let me know. And I believe what I forgot her name of the YouTuber is, but she's really interesting. This video popped up too when it comes to what the loneliness epidemic I was just really talking about when it comes to what I was talking about on Monday. And this video popped up. And it's just really, I was just listening to it too, just throughout the whole 60 minutes of it. And it's just like, I was just really listening to what she was sharing in the video. And just like when it comes to what she was sharing too about, loneliness, anxiety, social media. And it's just like, it was really interesting stuff too, especially when it comes to, people our age too, if those who are kind of in their 30s or if they're in their 40s too, for those who are millennials as well too, for those who are listening or even people who are younger, people who are older too. This could probably be relating to you guys too. It's just like when it comes to dealing with loneliness, and it's just like hard to make friends. You just like you don't know what to say, how to say it, or just like in general. Also, I could totally get that, and it's just like with me too. Just like just sharing my own story. It was just like it's been a process of just learning to just to communicate and it's really like with learning to communicate over the years to just really trying to not only understand myself but also understand other people too when I'm listening. So it's kind of like it's good that you like it's good that someone's a good listener, but sometimes when it's your turn to just share your own perspective or share your own feelings and thoughts about certain topics or things too, it can be really difficult. And sometimes maybe it can be sort of easy too, depending on the people that you're with. But I really wanted to share this video with you guys too. And let me see what her name is soon. Her name is it's Giving Growth. So shout out to her. This content creator. If you guys ever want to check out her channel too, I just really discovered her. Just I think it was this morning. It just popped up on my feed, and I was just really actually no, it was on. I think it was probably Tuesday. No, I think it was Tuesday. It was probably Tuesday or Wednesday. I think it was Wednesday. So shout out to her. Her video was really epic too. And I'm gonna say epic, but really powerful too. I want to really share that with you guys too, if you guys are open to listening. So shout out to It's Giving Growth. If you guys ever want to check out her video, I'll post a link to this video that we're reacting to in the description below. And so without further ado, we're just gonna really listen to what she's saying. Just gonna break it apart if you guys are open to listening. And feel free to share your own feelings and thoughts about this, video also too. Even if you guys have questions too, if you guys want a card reading, if you guys want me to pull some cards for you, or if you guys want to just say, have a message for today, or just like in general too, if you ever curious about anything when it comes to current events, pop culture, spirituality, wellness. So feel free to post your questions. So then again, I'm going to shut up, and without further ado, here we go.
So apparently, we're all loners. We're all in the same struggle bus together. We're all collectively in a friendship recession. So today I want to talk about something millions of people can relate to, and that is the I have no friends trend. There are a bunch of reasons why people relate to this so much. Maybe you don't have any friends. Maybe you have people you hang out with, but you don't really feel connected to them. Or you want better quality friends. Or you have social anxiety and it's hard to make a doctor's appointment by yourself, let alone approach strangers to be friends. Whatever it is, this video is for you because I'm going to get into all of it. So first I'm going to talk about the loneliness epidemic gripping the world right now, and then I'm going to share my personal story. So I've lost friends, I've had no friends, I've had bad friends, and I've been the bad friend, if we're keeping it real. And I'll leave you guys with the lessons I've learned through all of that, so definitely stay till the end. Also, if you're looking for a one-stop shop to better your mental health, your physical health, and your financial health, definitely hit the subscribe button because we are on a holistic wellness journey over here. And let's get into it. How many close friends do you have? If you were homeless tomorrow, who would open their doors for you? Who can you call after a bad day and not feel like you're burdening them? Who will always be there to pick you up from the airport? For a lot of people, that's no one. There is a loneliness epidemic going on right now, and people are finally talking about it. All over YouTube, people of all ages are talking about how they don't have friends. And these are not highly produced videos. I'm talking about people ranting to their phone camera in their car and having millions of people who relate to them when they say they don't have anyone close who they can talk to, turn to. In a world that's obsessively on social media to connect with people, we ironically are super isolated.
Yeah, that's a really good point that she was sharing too. And it's just like, and it's just like this video popped up too, and I heard her story, and I can really relate to her too. Just because, like, on social media, especially, if you're on Instagram or TikTok, it's just like, all the videos that we see, from pictures to short videos to, live streams also. And it's just like sometimes, it's like the illusion of social media, even like this platform too. It's just like, what you see is not what you usually is. What you see on social media is not what you see in real life and off the online world, if that social media world, if that makes sense. And it's just like, it's just so heartbreaking that, most people out there don't have anyone that they can turn to, if they are just going through a tough time out there, if they're just like, going through a loss, if they lost their job, if they lost a family member, girlfriend, boyfriend, etc. too, or just like they're losing their house, their apartment, and it's just like, it's heartbreaking out there, and especially, during these times too, especially, with the pandemic and all that, even when it's like after it's just it's over too with the lockdown, it's just like, sometimes, even with me too, it's just like, even when the pandemic was I mean, the lockdown was happening too around 2020, it was just like, whoa, like I had so much plans to, I was just not only healing from my, losing my mom, but also it was just like, dealing with the pandemic, but also at the same time, I mean, I was in a relationship, so I couldn't complain. It was just like a whole bunch of crazy stuff, and it's just like, you lose your mom, but then the pandemic happened, but you have someone that you can really connect with, even though you can't just, do the regular things that you used to do in 2019, but nowadays too, after the breakup and all that, and, you still miss your mom, you kind of still, it's like, you kind of miss your partner if you're just still going through that breakup, because, sometimes when we're just like, going through it, especially if we're just alone out there too, just like if we've been broken up, if we've lost a loved one, like a family member, or just like with any kind of challenges too, it's just so, can be really difficult to deal with too. So when it comes to that, and it's And it's just, my heart goes out to you guys who are just really going through it out there too, especially to anyone out there in their 20s, in their 30s, 40s, 50s, I don't know what the age too. It's just like, when it comes to the loneliness epidemic, my heart goes out to you. And I understand where you're coming from too, because I'm not perfect. I mean, sometimes I could be a knucklehead. Sometimes I could be an asshole. Most people call me that nowadays. You can't. It's totally true. People call me that in the past, but you just live and learn too. And it's just like especially when it comes to being alone. Also, it's just like sometimes we need to just be alone when it comes to dealing with stuff, but also at the same time we need that kind of connection. So yes, what's up, Shelby? Good to see you. What's good? What's good, Shelby? Hopefully you are doing well, my friend. All that what's Gucci in these YouTube streets. So yes, Cindy. What's up, Shelby? Good to see you. Hopefully you are okay out there. Hopefully you are staying safe and healthy and taking care of business, and hopefully you are thriving. Also, getting back on your feet too. So when it comes to that, and hopefully this is okay for me to say that too. So what's up, Shelby? Good to see you. And she says, my 16th son. Oh, I'm sorry about that. That can be really tough, like especially with social anxiety. I understand where your son's coming from because, even like during those kind of years too, you just really get to know yourself as a young man per se too. And it's just awkward for me saying young man because I'm still in my 30s, but I can understand where your son's coming from, especially when it comes to with social anxiety, because it's not easy to deal with. Sometimes, it's like you know what to say, but you don't have like the words to say. So you don't want to come off as being creepy or being weird or awkward. And it's just like it's kind of like it's like really hard to deal with too. So I understand where your son's coming from, Shelby, and my heart goes out to him too. So he said. Michelle says, I'm just socially awkward. I'm not good at small talk. Honestly, it makes me uncomfortable sometimes because I'm so worried I'm going to say something stupid. Also, yeah, I totally get that with small talk, Michelle, because, sometimes with me with small talk, it's like, yeah, it's like I don't know, it's kind of like a hit or miss. See, this is just my own perspective too, just sharing that. But when it comes to just like with small talk, I mean, it's just like, it's like, it's kind of like you, like when it comes to having conversations, it's just like, it's like, like peak, I don't know if it doesn't pique our interest per se. I mean, but I understand where people come from if they don't like small talk, because it's kind of like, and you're trying to be like, it feels like someone's trying to impress you, but it's not, you're not trying to be their authentic self. I don't know. But when it comes to like having deep conversations with other people, especially if we're interested in them, kind of like, if you're going on a date or if you're just hanging out with some friends or if you're at a social event, kind of like, at a Comic Con or expo or a concert or or even on a set too. I don't know. So I understand where you're coming from when it comes to, with small talk, because sometimes small talk is just like it's like either it feels like someone's trying to impress you or it's just like I don't know, or just saying one letter. I don't know. I'm just saying this from my own perspective as a man, but you guys could totally share your own feelings and thoughts about it too if you guys like small talk. I mean, people do. More power to you. So hey, Chris, good to see you. What's good? What's good? Thank you for being here, Chris. Hopefully, you are doing well and everything else, staying safe and healthy out there. And it's good to see you, Chris. Shout out to you. So let's see here. This people are sharing here too. Shelby says I have a 26-year-old daughter with a microphone. Yeah, I totally get that. I understand that too, Shelby. So shout out to your daughter also. I feel that. She says I'd rather talk about a topic instead of. Yeah, me too. I mean, I'm totally in the same boat. I mean, especially when it comes to topics, when it comes to it's like with something that we're interested in. It could be like for example, with tarot. I mean, we could talk about tarot when it comes to like the cards, from the devil cards to the magician to the high priestess, the Four of Wands, Page of Wands, Emperor, or just like with Oracle cards too. I mean, the topics that we just were passionate about can really just vary. It could be from tarot cards, it could be from sexuality, it could be from relationships, it could be from gaming, it could be from certain music, it could be from TV shows, it could be from movies. The list goes on too. So it's kind of like when it comes to having those deep conversations with talking about certain things, especially with people that are truly interested in the same things as we are. I totally get that. And with small talk, it's kind of like I don't know if it's like either breaking the ice or if it's just like trying to impress someone. I mean, it's like small talk is kind of like if this is just me sharing this too. I mean, if you guys like that too, that's you. More power to you. This is no diss to anyone out there. So yeah, so I understand where you're coming from, Michelle. And Chris says I'm terrible at well. Yeah, I totally understand where you're coming from. Social situations give me terrible anxiety, but I have been working hard to conquer it. And if I have a few friends to have it right. Oh, okay. Chris, I salute to you for doing that. I mean, that's no easy feat, just like when it comes to just, overcoming that kind of, anxiety too. So I give you props, Chris, for just really doing that for yourself, especially when it comes to, creating that kind of social circle that you have in your life too. So I applaud you for just really doing that. And I'm just really being serious too, because that's not an easy feat to do. Even with me as a man too, it's sometimes it took me like at least like a couple of decades just to really having like a awesome circle of friends too, not only on YouTube but also in real life. So it's kind of like because not it's not like it's just I don't trust anyone. It's just like I don't want to come off as being creepy or just like being weird. And it's also when it comes to like with energy too. It's just I just always been like a very careful person too. But at the same time, it's just like for anyone who can really just overcome those challenges out there, especially when it comes to like if with social anxiety, especially when it comes to to creating that kind of healthy social life that that you can create for yourselves too, and that's powerful. So I salute you for doing that, Chris. And actually just giving you kudos for that too. So right on, right on. So Michelle says, I think I'm a funny person that love giving. You are funny, Michelle. And for those who don't know about Michelle, she's a very hilarious person. I mean, if you really watch her channel, especially with her sister too, I mean, she's alright. So yes, you are funny, Michelle. And same goes to your sister. Your sister is wild, but she's very knowledgeable too. So definitely, and people tell me that I'm funny. I'm just really keeping it real. I mean, I try not. I don't. I'll just share this too. I don't try to not to be funny. I just share. So I mean, I like to be entertaining and just be silly. That's just me being who I am. But people always portray me for being funny because I say the most outrageous stuff, and it just they don't see it coming. So I understand where you're coming from on that perspective, Michelle, and you are funny too, by the way. So yes, indeed. Yeah, so ADHD. Yeah, I feel you on that. I mean, I don't think I have ADHD. No, I mean, if I do, I mean, I'll embrace it. But with me, just like, with like ADHD and Asperger's syndrome, it's just like, excuse me for a second. It's just like when it comes to dealing with like, with social anxiety, it's just like, sometimes it can be really tough to deal with because sometimes, with people too, especially, like certain social circles and everything else, it can really just, have a hard time understanding stuff too, if that makes sense, especially when it comes to, with Asperger's syndrome. I know like when we're like people with Asperger's syndrome too, like when they're like on, like they love, if they're passionate about something, they dive right deep into that shit too. So it's kind of like, when it comes to just diving deep into like something that we're passionate about, if it's like with gaming, it could be with movies, it could be with music, with it could be with anything too. And it's just like whether anything that we're passionate about in life too that really fulfills them, they dive right deep into that shit too. But when it comes to with people, talking with other people, just really socializing, it can really be. It's kind of like I equate that to kind of like facing like a really tough boss battle, and it's just like hard to be and difficult to do too. If that makes sense to anyone who's listening, especially for those who have Asperger's syndrome, and no matter what the age too, if they're younger, if they're in their 20s, 30s, or if they're older too. So yeah, I feel that. So I'm gonna continue with the video too, if you guys can see too. So I'm gonna play most of this video too, and I'll post a link to the video also if you guys want to watch it for yourself.
In a culture that obsesses over finding love, we ironically don't have friends. And that is heartbreaking because researchers have found that people who had satisfying friendships were happier, had fewer health problems, and even lived longer. And people with weak social ties were often linked to depression and cognitive decline as they aged. And that sucks to hear because it often feels like making friends is harder than solving physics equations, especially in adulthood. I've always heard people say if you're an adult, if you've graduated high school or college, you can probably count your close friends on one hand, if you're lucky. And if you can relate to that struggle, you're not alone in experiencing this. I'm right there with you. There have been very few times in my life where I've had a close friend. Let alone friends, plural. Just one close friend was always really hard to find and keep. I've always had acquaintances, coworkers, people who I saw and hung out with, but I never felt a deep connection. I never felt like they actually got me and I got them. The conversations were kind of shallow and not deep and nutritional and nourishing. But I always felt like there was a bigger piece missing. A real, true friend, someone who I could lean on and trust and call from jail if I needed to, and who wouldn't judge me and who I can eyes closed say they would always have my back. Not
Yeah, I totally get where she's saying there too when it comes to that, and it's just like and it's just like having those kind of friends who always have your back. It's just like those kind of people that are just like with you till the end, even like if you're going through any kind of challenges, if you're going through like a breakup, or if you're just like going through any kind of challenges also in our lives, because you never know what people are going through. Even no matter if you're rich like Tony Stark or Bruce Wayne, or you're just like an average person. And there's nothing wrong being an average person. It's just that people like to just live simple lives, and sometimes people like to live a fast life or live a, like just like a, I say regular life too. I don't know. It's just like maybe I've been in California for so long, but it's just like when it comes to just like just having those kind of creating those kind of friendships with people too, and just like having those kind of friends too, just like when it comes to for those who always be there for you, no matter what, if the gender also, if they're a man, if you're a woman. And it's just like it's those kind of people too are kind of like a dime in a dozen too, if that makes sense. So yeah, if you guys want to share that too, what you guys see in this video too, and it's 60 minutes long, so I might play some of it so you guys could watch it for yourself. So it can be really pretty long. So I'm just trying to not get in trouble with the YouTube thing too. But this is all for fair use. So it's like when it comes to that. So, or I could just play the whole clip too. You never know. So we'll see. So let's see. Let's see what people are sharing. She says that you can't change people's minds about what they believe. Well, we'll see what people are sharing. I try to stay away from politics. It's one of the topics where people are usually fair. Yeah. Especially, with politics. That's like, the Russian roulette kind of topic. I mean, it's just like that's like with me too. I know that most content creators who talk about politics, I mean, I don't know how they do it, honestly. But sometimes, with me too, I'm very flexible. I mean, if you guys do want to talk about politics, you don't have to really dive in deep into it. But I know that kind of topic really is kind of like a fire starter, if that makes sense, because you never know. that people have different kind of views when it comes to with certain political views, and people disagree and they have some kind of like shouting match. It could be a total brawl there, even if it's in like a forum, like a platform like this too. I've seen with people who have different viewpoints, but they always they kind of throw like insults to other people too if they don't believe to what they're believing too, and it's kind of crazy. So I mean, I give kudos to anyone who can really just talk about politics and just really keep in a healthy community where people can just really express their own political beliefs without having to just really, put down someone too. So I give kudos for anyone who can really just do that. Because, with me, I can really do that, but also at the same time, I can understand that politics could be like a Russian roulette kind of topic because it could really just, it could go one way. It could get really good. It could really get really ugly real quick. So I understand where you're coming from on that part, Michelle. And she says you can't change people's minds. Yeah, that's true. That's true. If people want to just, when people are minds is set, they're set. And if people want to just learn a new perspective, they want to change too. That's their own choice. But if someone's mind is made up, it's kind of really difficult to really change unless they want to learn learn a new perspective. If that makes sense. So your own point about that too, Michelle. Oh, okay, Shelby. I do not have ADHD, but I'm hearing truly do. Counsel with them. Oh wow. Yeah. It's good that it's just like, you've been counseling with them for 20 years and trying to understand it without having to, and not dismiss it. So I salute you for doing that, Shelby. And that's beautiful. That's powerful, that work that you're doing too. So thank you for doing that, Shelby. That's powerful. Oh, religion, that's cool. I mean, when it comes to religion, I mean, you guys are more than welcome to share your religious beliefs. I mean, especially when it comes to spiritual beliefs. If you're Christian, if you're Catholic, if you're a hippie, if you're New Age, I don't know wherever the term is too. When it comes to people who are spiritual, I mean, I know spiritual is the right term. There's so many terms I can't even keep up, honestly. And I'm 35 years old. I should know better. But when it comes to that, I mean, shit. I don't know what the term is too. I just call myself a hippie. Why not? I don't know. So when it comes to that, I mean, people want to share their own beliefs too. If they believe in Jesus, if they believe in, just like when it comes to with the New Age stuff too. Or I say New Age, but if you're a hippie, also you're more than welcome to do so too. So as long as you're not hurting other people without putting someone down too. So that's the only thing I care about is safety for the people too, especially when it comes to, like communities like this too, like YouTube and Instagram and all that stuff. That makes sense. Shelby, I remember my mom trying to different things with me as a kid. Oh, you're a Norse pagan. I never heard of a Norse pagan. Oh, interesting. Norse pagan. So it's kind of like with Norse mythology, like with Thor and Loki and all that, Chris? I don't know nothing about that. So if you want to share about that too, you're more than welcome to do so. I don't think I've heard of Norse, like Norse mythology, but I never heard of a Norse pagan before. So that's just new to me. So if you want to share that too, feel free to educate me too, or that's in the chat. So that's interesting. So I'm gonna continue to play this video if you guys are listening, open to listen.
Not having even just one person like that in the entire world is tough. It feels really lonely. I remember a few years ago, it was around the time of my birthday, and I remember realizing that I was getting more into my 20s and I didn't have a group of people, who were my tribe. I remember crying because it felt like I was going to go through my whole 20s and not have a close group of girlfriends. The people who would come over and pop a bottle of champagne after my promotion or show up with a box of pizza and wine after a breakup. I really wanted that. Graduating college was a huge eye-opener for me because the people who I was seeing daily moved all across the country to get jobs, and I kind of lost touch with them. Also, I realized that the girls who I hung out with the most were the girls who I partied with the most. And when I graduated and got a job, I realized that we actually had nothing in common besides drinking together on Friday nights at frat parties. And when I had social media, I actually just did a video on why I quit social media, but when I had Instagram, I would go on and see groups of girls having brunch together and groups of guys at bars. When it was someone's birthday, that person's Instagram story would have like 20 slides of people gassing them up and wishing them happy birthday. And like every other week, I would see someone getting married and having like 8 bridesmaids by their side. And I was always like, damn, where do you get these people? Like, you get that on Amazon? How do you have so many close girlfriends?
Right?
Well, I'm out here trying to get like one. It's tough to see because you feel like, where are mine? Is there something wrong with me? Like, am I not fun to be around? Also, when I had an Instagram, I had Instagram friends. Like, I would have girls who would comment under my pics, I would comment under theirs, we'd watch each other's stories. But then after I quit using social media, none of those people reached out to me.
Mm. You know, like with, let me go back to you guys too. So Chris says, I never had a group of girlfriends. Like, yeah, I totally get that too, what she's sharing too in the video. And it's just like, I'm not a woman per se, because I'm obviously a man, but when it comes to, with, as a man using Instagram, it's just like, sometimes, you kind of like you meet people who have like similar interests, you follow certain people, like a really public, well-known public figure, or just like when it comes to that too. And it's just like like what you guys see on social media, kind of like on Instagram or Twitter or Facebook or even TikTok too nowadays, or even YouTube as well. And it's just like you see the most glamorous videos, or just like when it comes to someone's wedding or someone's event, and it's kind of like, oh, like, oh shit, like they got this group of people to do that. And it's just like really awesome. It's like, and it's no shade against anyone who can really just pull that off. I mean, that just takes a lot of commitment to do that. So it's kind of like, I understand where you're coming from with that, Chris, because, me as a man, I'm just sharing my perspective as a man too. It's just like, but like with social media, it's just like, it could be it's like, oh, let me rephrase my thoughts. Oh shit. With social media, it's so it can be really helpful, but at the same time, it can be really addicting. I mean, or so it's kind of like how addicting it is when it comes to like even like when the first thing that we wake up to is just like want to check our Instagram, or if you want to just check out see what's up to. It's it's a known thing that most people do, especially if we have like a smartphone, like an iPhone or any kind of phone too nowadays. But it's kind of like so with social media, it's no matter if it's TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and it's just like it's so addicting. At the same time, it can be really helpful to just not only just to connect with people, but also to form relationships, to make money, and just like all the above too. So it's kind of like there's always uh, a pro and a con too when it comes to everything, especially when it comes to social media, especially when it comes to loneliness too. And it's just like sometimes when we're by ourselves and we're just going through social media, it's kind of like we want to just look at our feed to what we like to. So if it's like like pictures and videos and posts of like big booty women too. I'm just saying this from my own perspective as a man. I'm just giving an example, or it could be just like with tarot cards, or it could be with yoga, it could be with just weddings, or whatever that may be that folks about when it comes to social media. It can be really addicting, but also as like a tool too when it comes to connecting with people. And just like when it comes to just with socializing, it can really help, but also at the same time, it's just like there's some pros and cons to it, if that makes sense. So if that makes sense to you guys too, you're more than welcome to agree or disagree. I mean, I'm totally open to having this open discussion with you guys too. And you guys are liking this live stream also, feel free to hit the like button, share this live stream with your friends, all that good stuff too. And if you guys are new to my channel, feel free to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you guys get notified for all the stuff that I'm doing on this channel too. So, yes, indeed. Yeah. Yes, there are drawbacks. Yeah, that's for sure. For sure. Oh, for sure. I think you're talking to Shelly too, so yeah, I totally understand where you guys are coming from. So let's continue this video.
Me. And I realized we only had an online kind of artificial relationship. Like they didn't actually care that much about me as a person. I don't even think most of them realized I was gone. So after going through a lot of struggles and friendships, I've learned a lot. Here are some things that I've learned and that I just wish I knew. The first lesson I learned was you need to define what a friend means to you. What kind of values are you looking for? If I didn't concretely know what I wanted and what I was not accepting, anyone was being led in the door. There were people I used to hang out with who would always talk shit about others behind their backs. They were always involved in drama or gossip, people who just called me to like emotionally dump on me, but just because they were nice to me, I was okay with being friends with them.
Yeah, I totally understand where she's coming from on that perspective too. Because I know, and this is no shade against all my friends who, who who are in my life also. And I'm speaking from my own perspective too. And it's just like for those who are watching right now too, if you guys want to share like anything that you choose like talking about when it comes to like having certain people who just, call you just to really emotionally dump on you too, kind of like if you're like the therapist and you're just like, you're just listening to him talk. I mean, there's nothing like I see nothing particularly wrong if you want to just help your friend to just, listen to them if you're going through a hard time. But as long as it's reciprocated too, so it's kind of like, they're not taking away your time too, especially when it comes to just, using you per se too, if that makes sense. As long as it's like reciprocated. And hopefully that makes sense to anyone. I'm not trying to offend or whatsoever. So when it comes to that, because I know people in my past also, they just, they just call me just like out of the blue just to really, just to get stuff off their chest and just try to just, emotionally dump on me too with their problems and all that. And it's just like, it's like I understand if you just want to just talk to someone. I mean, just like if you want like a friend to just listen to you and just like when it comes to that. But as long as it's reciprocated too, just like when it comes to, just like with friendships, because sometimes, when it comes to friendships, I mean, just like, it's good to really just reciprocate too. Like if, let's say, for example, like if, like one of my friends is going through a hard time and I want to help them out, I mean, I'm always listen to, always willing be I'm always willing to just listen to them, but at the same time, it's just like if they don't have time to just, listen to me or just like if I need help with something too, I need someone to talk to also, want to talk, or if they can't for some reason, which is understandable, or if they don't want to also, that could be another thing too. So that makes sense to anyone also, feel free to educate me. But at the same time, I just feel I'm just sharing my own perspective, and I believe that, it should be, what's the word? Receptive when it comes to with, just with friendships. If you're going through a hard time, if you want to be there for your friend, that's cool, and it should be, reciprocated per se. So it's like if as well, and just like being there for someone too, not trying to like being something out of it too, can really just make more friendships and even relationships meaningful too. So yeah, let me see what people are sharing in it. Yeah, reciprocate. Thank you. My mind knows what I'm talking about, but sometimes, with my, um, what's the word? With my Aspergerness, it's hard to get it out too. So thank you. Yes, reciprocate. That's exactly what I was just, So that's definitely a word. Yeah, jealousy is a powerful emotion for sure, Shelly. Yeah, it can be powerful and dangerous at the same time because jealousy can turn to a lot of other things too. So yeah, definitely, it is a powerful emotion for sure. Yeah, exactly. There's definitely have to create your friends. There needs to be a yeah. I totally get that exactly. Yeah, there are some people who have so many emotional issues, just can't be a good friend. Yeah, yeah, exactly. That's true, Chris. That's totally true. You're right about that. hmm So yes, I'm gonna play a few more minutes of this video too. It's 16 minutes long, so we're 6 minutes in. Okay,
when
let's.
really I should have known better and set my standards and boundaries way higher. So know what kind of friend you want and set that standard so you don't pick just anyone. And also, pro tip, I've learned this the hard way. If they're talking about others behind their backs, they're doing the same to you.
Yep.
Also, in that same line, define what
Sure.
type of friendships you want. Some people are looking for someone who they can call at 2 a.m. when their car breaks down. Some people just want a weekend girlfriend who they can hit the bars with. Some people want someone they can text or call every single day, while others are okay with talking to someone once every few months. I've learned not to expect all of those types of friendships from one person. I've learned
Yeah, and I totally get what she's saying there too. And even like with friendships too, because some people are cool with, just like, like calling like their friends just like, once a week or once a month. Because we're busy in our lives too, and we gotta, do what we gotta do. So then just being real with this topic also when it comes to with loneliness, and it's just like, it's just like really good to just really, what thing when it comes to just what kind of friendships do you want in your life also, especially when it comes to creating having those kind of deep connections with other people too. And it's just like not everyone's going to be like very genuine. I mean, sometimes people use other people for a lot of crazy stuff too, and it's just like really got to really just trust our own intuition when it comes to that also, especially when it comes to knowing our worth as human beings, whether you're a man or a woman too. So definitely what she's sharing and what Chris is sharing too in the chat. So shout out to both of you guys.
learned to not expect regular texting from someone who just didn't have that capacity. I don't force relationships in that way, and I don't put pressure on one person to be all of the things I want in a friendship. I'm okay with having different people who are there for me in different ways and who I'm there for in different ways. There's different types of friendships, there's different tiers of friendships, so not everyone will be your best friend. The next lesson I've learned is don't cling to people who don't nourish you or grow you in some
Right.
kind of way. I have truly learned to let people go. And not even in like an F you kind of way, but just in a graceful, loving way.
Yeah, you know, I want to ask you guys this question too. Like, did you guys ever had a hard time letting people go that you thought that you guys are close to, but at the same time you just realized that they're not really good for your like overall health, and you just have to just learn to just let them go gracefully? Because I had really had a hard time doing that, especially when it comes to you know how can I say this? It's kind of like, when it comes to just like with certain people that you thought you could be cool with, you could just really trust. And it's just like, and it's just like, you just really, like they do something that they betray your trust and then you don't hear from them in a while. And it's just like, and you just realize that they're not like, they don't practice what they preach. They're hurting other people. They talk behind your back or other people's backs. And it's just like, and you just have to really learn to just really let them go gracefully. And it's kind of like I just don't really admit this because I had a hard time doing that too, because when I make friendships I like to just really if you're a friend of mine, you're a friend for life. So it's kind of like always look out for you too. If you like text someone or call or hang out, and totally down for that too. It's just like as long as you're not like hurting people, hurting yourself, and even hurting me too. It's just like that's just me saying that. So, but I totally understand where she's coming from with that. Oh, good night, Chris. Thank you for sharing your perspective too. And it's always good to just reading what you're saying too in the chat. So you have a beautiful rest of your night also too. And thank you again to sharing your perspective also when it comes to with friendships and with religion and everything else too. I appreciate you. I'm saying goes to everyone too. So Shelby says, I agree. I'm so cautious of who I let in my family life. Society is so divisive. Like, yeah, it's. I totally understand where you're coming from. Yeah, definitely. My home is a potential target for the hate crimes against transgender people. Oh yeah, I know you live in Florida, so yeah, my heart goes out to you, Shelby. Oh shoot, I'm sorry for saying that too. You know, with Florida too. So when it comes to that, hopefully I didn't cross your boundaries too saying that. But my heart goes out to you too when it comes to where you live too in the state of Florida. And it's just like I don't know why people are just like have this kind of like hard on for just like when it comes to just like always trying to talk shit about transgender people. Just let people live their lives. If you're not hurting anyone, if you're not doing something that's really just crazy, that's just hurting people and hurting their environment, just leave them alone. Just let them be who they are. If they like to be transgender and they just want to do that from a healthy space, let them be. Just let them be who they are and just really, I don't know why most people are just, are so divisive. I mean, it's probably, it's probably the way the society is, but it's kind of like, it's just crazy how it is. We still have those kind of challenges in our society too, and just really pray that things will get better along the way. That people will be accepted to who they are, whether they're straight, transgender, how they identify themselves too. I don't know. So my heart goes out to to LGBTQ community, the transgenders, and you know, especially to anyone who's going through any kind of challenges out there. Because I'm not a hypocrite, but I'm always keeping it real too. So as a straight man who's black, also, I mean, I love who I am, and just like when it comes to being, um, a black man, especially being a black man in America, but also I'm not gonna shit on other people too who are different than me. So I'm not gonna be that way because like the old saying goes, hurt people hurt other people. And it's crazy. So you know, so girls in combat boots and guys in heels. It's all good here. I'm waiting for my governor to haul me off to jail for this. Yeah, oh man. I mean, I totally get that. I mean, girls in combat boots, it just reminds me of Sonya Blade from Mortal Kombat. So I have no problem with that because I love women, whether even if they're not attracted to me too. I just love women because they're awesome. So just really saying that too. And especially, to each their own when it comes to guys wearing heels. I mean, that's your business. So I have nothing against you on that. So when it comes to that, if it makes you feel empowered, it makes you feel whole, go for it. I mean, I have nothing against you, any man who likes to wear heels. I'm not a hypocrite. But when it comes to that, I mean, with me, I like to wear sneakers, t-shirts, shorts, pants, suits, all that. Because I'm a man, and I love to wear awesome stuff. I grew up around a strong man. My dad, my grandpa, my uncles from my dad's side, and some on my mom's side too. So it's kind of because I never had a brother per se, and then it's just like I always had an older sister and older cousins who were women. But nowadays, still, my family going so big, there's more boys in the family, which is really awesome. So, but when it comes to that, I mean, when it comes to women wearing combat boots, I have nothing against that. That's totally cool. That's a cool fashion statement too. So it's kind of like they like to be tomboyish, they like to throw down, they like to fight, box, and lift weights and all that too. Even if they like other women too, that's totally cool. Shout out to them, Shelby. And so my heart goes out to the people who are in the LGBTQ community, and for those who live in Florida, especially. And like my friend too that I talk to also, she's in kind of that same boat also when it comes to living in Florida and dealing with all that kind of discrimination against the LGBTQ community. If I'm saying it right, I mean I can't catch up with the terms in my sometimes I think I'm getting old. I'm catching to my age, so yeah, my heart goes out to you guys too, and you guys have my support also when it comes to that. So,
Hey, did someone knock on my door?
oh, I thought I'm tripping. Shit. So, since 1984. Oh shit. So, anyways, I'm gonna play a little bit more of this clip too. I might share the cards that I have for you.
Honestly, I think we all understand that when it comes to romantic relationships. Like your girlfriend or boyfriend in high school might be perfect for you in that stage of your life, but as you grow and evolve, it's natural and even healthy to, meet other partners that are better suited for you, that align to the person you've
Mm-hmm.
grown to be. But for some reason, when it comes to friendships, we put an enormous pressure on friends to last forever. I like to think of
Yeah.
friendships, or any relationships really, like highway exits. Your life is like a highway, and some people come onto the highway and stay for a mile or two and then take their exit. And then others come onto the highway and stay for 20 miles and take their exit. And that's okay. We're all just kind of finding our way through life, and not everyone is meant to stay on that road with you forever. You don't need to maintain a relationship with someone just because of history you guys have, or just for the sake of maintaining it. The other thing I learned is that yes, some people you naturally outgrow, you naturally let go, but others need a little push out the door. You have a gut feeling when someone is just not good energy. I'm talking about people who are maybe jealous of you, or who are reluctant to celebrate your wins, or who forget to invite you to get-togethers, people who gossip, people who disrespect you, people who don't know how to apologize. I would rather be alone and have no friends than surround myself with people with that kind of energy.
Girl, I feel the same way. I'll just leave it at that because that's like the upside with loneliness too, especially if you're just like if you deal with people who are just so not healthy for you. It can be even not just with friendships, but also with partners too. And it's just like when it comes to how we can really just be with ourselves too, to just heal and to learn and to just grow out of that kind of heaviness too, if that makes sense to you guys, for those who are listening. And it's just like even like if you need to just say also, just like creating that kind of space for you to just really do that. So especially if you love to use plants, if you use essential oils, if you love to use flowers or any kind of plants, also just to help you to just really to help you to just not only to just to let go and to just really create that kind of space for you to just really to really create your own kind of space for yourself to just really to grow, to relieve yourself, and to just really doing that in your own way too, whether you want to just create some inner peace, or perfectly peaceful deep breath, rooted, needs to feel rooted, wherever that may be too. So it's kind of like with uplifting aromas, it's just like a powerful way to just really when it comes to even from dealing with any kind of like challenges, if you need to just let go of certain people and you're just alone with yourself, it's just like bringing that kind of uplifting energy, especially when it comes to aromas, also can really just be helpful. It can be like an awesome tool that you can just use, whether you love to use essential oils or not. Also, it's just like just really bringing that kind of joy, that kind of uplifting aroma to feel more zen, wherever that may be too for you guys. Also, when it comes to with this, so definitely, even if it's like a special occasion too. So it's kind of like wherever that may be too, for our self-care goals. It's like when it comes to just creating that kind of uplifting aroma, or even just like any kind of aroma too in our space, especially if you love to diffuse any kind of plants in our diffuser. So when it comes to with these it's the list goes on also, and I'm just gonna stop right there too. When it comes to this slide, I'm gonna go back to the video right here too. I'm gonna play a little bit more of this video too. I might finish the whole thing. You never know. So if you guys are still listening to this, also feel free to share your own feelings and thoughts about this video too. And I might even let me see if I could copy this too. Let me see if I can. Let's see. I'm gonna copy the link to this video. Also, I'm gonna share it in the chat also, so you guys could check it out for yourself. So there you go. So I posted a link to the original video also, if you want to check it out for yourself. If you want to add it to your favorite list or whatever kind of playlist that you have on your YouTube channel. So without further ado, I'm gonna continue to play this for a little bit.
And cutting the cord with these people really comes from a place of being confident in who you are and knowing that you're a good friend, knowing that you deserve to have good friends, knowing that you're not so hard up to be around people that you'll surround yourself with bad company. Like romantic relationships, good friendships are worth the wait. The next lesson I learned about friendships is that putting yourself out there is uncomfortable. If you don't have a
That's true. I mean, especially if we're dealing with like some with social anxiety. I mean, putting yourself out there is no easy feat. I mean, it could take like even like a couple of years or even a little bit more just to do that, depending on who we are. So when it comes to that, I just salute anyone who can just really have the strength, the inner strength to just really put themselves out there, not being afraid of being who they are, whether people think they're weird or think they're a freak or anything like that. It's just like this is just just sharing too. So when it comes to that, I mean, my heart goes out to, and I give kudos to anyone who is not afraid to just really put themselves out there, not being afraid of being who they are. Also, whether they're a man, if they're a woman too, because that's not an easy feat. And even just like when it comes to that, especially on social media, where like on social media, people talk a lot of shit like every single day on social media. It's like on Facebook Live, Instagram Live, even like on Twitter too, especially on TikTok and YouTube. So my heart, kudos to anyone who can just really put themselves out there and can just really be who they are and just really, you know, not being afraid of being real and authentic with themselves too. So definitely.
a lot of friends, or you're not used to being around a lot of people, putting yourself out there, going up to strangers, going to parties, saying hi to people is nerve wracking. As someone with social anxiety, trying to make friends is so daunting because I'm always like, what if I go up to someone and I fumble my words, or they think I'm weird for approaching them, or I say the wrong thing? That's where confidence comes in because I've learned that, like, hey, I'm just saying hi to someone, I'm just being nice, and if they think I'm weird for doing that, that's a reflection on who they are. That has nothing to do with me, and they'd probably think anyone was weird for doing that. But putting yourself out there, going to events, saying hi to people, that only gives you a better likelihood of finding a person you click with. And it also builds up that confidence muscle. So join your local intramural soccer league, invite your coworker out for lunch, randomly go up to someone in your gym and say hi. It's not all going to be fun, and some people may have weird reactions, but regardless of the outcome, it's still a win because you're building more confidence and you're just that much closer to meeting someone. Which brings me to the next lesson I learned, which is confidence is key. It's really not just like some cheesy love yourself bullshit. It really makes a difference in how we interact with people. Confidence, one, gives us permission to cut people out of our lives that don't treat us like what we're worth. And if you have no friends, confidence really adds this light to your personality that makes you so much more attractive to everyone you meet. When I think about the people who I know, who have a lot of friends, who always get invited out, who everyone loves, it's always that person who's super confident, who uplifts others, who walks in their purpose and is quirky or different, but like shines in that. They don't try to be anyone else. They don't try to blend in. When I'm not confident in a social interaction, I sometimes avoid eye contact. I'm like fumbling my words. I'm nervous, and it kind of stifles the natural flow of the conversation. People can feel that awkward energy and it can really dampen the vibes. But when I walk into a conversation and I'm not as worried about what they're thinking of me or if I say the wrong thing, the conversation just flows better. So if you go up to a stranger and say hi, being sure of yourself that no matter what happens, you're good, you're just being nice, having that confidence really comes through and really boosts people's perception of you. The next thing I wish someone told me was, don't feel embarrassed to not have friends. Don't get cold-hearted from it, because
Yeah, that's a good point there too. So, and it's kind of like not having friends too. And it's kind of like I was sharing before. Sometimes like we need to be alone to just really figuring out stuff too. So it's kind of like you don't want like when it comes to not having friends, it's just like you don't want to just have the right like the kind of company that's just like it's going to take advantage of you. It's going to make you do some crazy stuff there, or just make you do stuff that's just like outside your comfort zone, but also do stuff that's just really toxic. If that makes sense. So. Yeah, let me see what she's going somewhere with this too. So I'm gonna chime in as well.
in the times of my life that I had no friends, I felt really embarrassed by that. I became really closed off because it felt scary and embarrassing to be social and be super outgoing and to still not have friends. So I purposely chose to just say I'm an introvert and I like being alone, and that's why I didn't have friends. And look, there's nothing wrong with being by yourself, but I convinced myself that I didn't need or want friends because that felt easier than exclaiming that I actually did want friends and I just couldn't find any. And getting super closed off, that ended up being a self-fulfilling prophecy because I just stayed home and didn't talk to anyone, and then that made me literally less likely to meet people, and then that just reinforced that I can't make friends anyway, so why try? And that was a cycle that didn't help anything. So it's super easy to get closed off when you feel like you're putting yourself out there and it's not working, but try to be patient and not be bitter about it and just trust that your tribe will come. Another thing about friendships I've learned is to be careful what you see on social media.
Yep, that's exactly right. And it's just like, with social media, and it's just like, what you see, on social media, it's not what you, it's not what, you see in kind of in real life. Also, that makes sense. So it's kind of like, you see, like a beautiful post of like a resort or someone who's wearing this awesome outfit too, they're rocking it. I mean, if they look like that outside of the social media thing too, that's cool. But sometimes, what you see is not what we see in real life also. So it could be kind of illusion when it comes to social media. Or sometimes it could be not. You never know. So, but I understand where she's coming from with that perspective too. Shelby says, I had a white woman even create a said, I heard but that's what it is to talk about how they create this. Oh my gosh. Oh no. Oh my goodness. I'm so sorry you had to deal with that, Shelby. Oh my gosh. After that message, I want to give a message. Yeah. Oh my goodness. I'm so sorry you have to deal with those kind of people, Shelby. My goodness. Life is not Yeah, life is not a popularity contest. That's a fact right there. She says, my son is 16, going on 60. He has no friends in his age group, but he has a family, so all the people that support him. And he has given him opportunity for a purpose, prosperous career, I think. That's powerful. He has that kind of support system too. So, wow. That's just really what you just shared too, Shelly. That's just really powerful. And thank you for sharing that too. Feeling comfortable sharing that with us too in the chat. I mean, my heart goes out to you. I'm sorry you have to deal with those kind of people who are just talking about your heritage like that too. So, especially when it comes to being from Ukraine. So I'm really sorry that really happened to you. And I love you dearly too, Shelby. So being who you are also when it comes to your family, to who you are as well as a person, as a woman. So my heart goes out to you, and I love you dearly too, Shelby. If you're still listening to this live stream, also, especially for anyone who is listening to this, also. So she makes yeah. This woman's making so much sense too. So she's really awesome. Shout out to her, definitely. hmm And you are too, Shelby. You are a really knowledgeable woman too. So shout out to you, my friend. So let me see if we can finish this video and I can share the videos in the live stream too. Oh, where is it? There we go.
Social media is like one of those big funny mirrors at circuses that distort everything, including how we
Mhm.
see ourselves. Everyone is posting on Instagram and Facebook and Snapchat when they're out with their friends, when
Ah,
they're being social. So you log on and that's all you end up seeing. And it makes it seem like everyone just has so many friends and is hanging out with them all the time. And that's not true. It really sets an unrealistic standard of what we think socializing should look like. Also, I know couples that post pictures kissing that were fighting seconds before that was.
yo, that's true. I mean, I could tell you, like, when it comes to like certain scene certain posts with people too that I know, then they kind of like behind the scenes, it's like they're doing like the opposite of what they post on social media as well. Or sometimes mostly, what people post on social media too is actually what they're doing too. So it's kind of like depending on what kind of people that you're following and what kind of content that you're just watching on your feed too. So it's kind of like just really discerning everything, just really trusting your gut instincts when it comes to if this feels kind of phony, if this feels kind of real too. Just really trusting your instincts as a person with your own intuitive kind of senses. It's just like, is this real happening, or if it's just it is just really trusting that too, because you never know what's behind the scenes too when it comes to people posting stuff on their Snapchat, YouTube, TikTok. I'd say OnlyFans. I don't know if I can say that. YouTube, so Facebook, and I don't know what else on social media. So I think I might name them all. So Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, Twitter. I think I said Snapchat too, and I think OnlyFans as well. So yeah, definitely, and YouTube as well. I think I said YouTube. Anyways, it's hard to keep up. Sometimes my mind is those are different commercials, and it knows what to say, but it's hard to get it out. That makes sense. So.
Was taken. I personally know bridesmaids who post pictures, posing all cute and hugging each other, but in reality, they can't stand each other. Don't compare your real life with people's fake life. And here are 2 reasons why, if you don't have friends right this second, that can actually be a good thing. 1, it can signal that you're in a phase of growth. When you grow and evolve and enter in new stages of your life, not everyone's gonna understand that.
Yeah, especially if you're like going through any kind of challenges. Also, if you're just like saying like you need to be alone just to figure stuff out. If you're going through a breakup, if you're going through like grieving, and just like being alone is like a most beautiful blessing ever too, because that's a powerful way for all of us to just not only to just heal but also to grow at the same time. We can just learn to let go of stuff that's just no longer just that's holding us back. That can also you just want to let go of too, especially when it comes to past relationships and anything else too. Especially if we need to just like need some time for ourselves to cry it out, just having this kind of like the week for us to just cry if we've lost someone, if we lost our parents, if we lost our kids, if we lost our jobs, if we lost our house, if we lost anything too. So it's kind of like being alone. It could be like a beautiful blessing to just really practicing wellness, to just really to really just heal and to really just be with yourself, to just to figure stuff out. Even if you need to just say like some workout, to dance, to do some yoga, do some martial arts, do some wherever that helps you to just really be with yourself, that fulfills you, that really just not only just fulfills you on the inside, but also when it comes to just with everything else too. So she's definitely on the money on this too. So it's only 3 more minutes with this.
I started therapy and started having more deep, more meaningful.
Yeah, even like talking to someone too, like in a different perspective, seeking help is a powerful way to do that too. So yeah, definitely that also just to add to that as well.
Conversations with myself, with others about journaling, reflection, healing, trauma. There were a lot of people who just didn't understand what I was saying. So maybe your new chapter is focusing on healing or saving money, or maybe you've entered in a long-term relationship and you can't relate to the people who partake in hookup culture. Growing to another level of you sometimes means distancing yourself from people who are not on that same journey. It's possible to have that same level of closeness, but if you don't, that's okay. If anything, it just shows how much you're growing as a person, and you will eventually find people who are on that same journey. And the second reason why not having friends right now can actually be a great thing is that you have so much more time and space to work on you. And I know that sounds cheesy and oversaid, but I'm speaking from experience, so hear me out. I am going through a process in my healing journey where I'm basically unlearning everything I thought I knew about myself. And I'm rediscovering myself, my personality, my standards. And it's really hard to do that in front of other people because I'm changing so rapidly from one day to the next. I'm playing with different facets of my personality. A lot of days I'm just looking inward and I'm not as smiley and bubbly and confident because I'm just self-reflecting and healing. And that process is really scary and vulnerable. Taking that time to do a deep dive into yourself, understand your traumas, heal from past experiences. Think about times you've been a bad partner, a bad friend, and why. What are your triggers? That process is so underrated, is so beautiful because you know on the other side of that, you can show up as your true authentic self and the best version of yourself. Plus, there's a saying, you can only meet other people as deeply as you've met yourself.
Mm, that's true, especially when it comes to practicing wellness and doing that in your own way too, especially, when it comes to just really doing that internal work on yourself too, especially how we all do that also, because we're so different people. We, do stuff, that's totally different from what other people do. And that's so nothing wrong with that. We're different people. We have different personalities and goals and desires. And it's just like doing that, knowing that from a healthy space and just really doing that from a healthy space too is really powerful. But also at the same time too, when it comes to just really doing that inner work also when it comes to with ourselves, especially when it comes to, reflecting, kind of like with with astrology, with the Mercury retrogrades, it's like a powerful time for all of us to just really reflect on certain things. If we communicated in a certain way, if we acted a certain way, if we did some stuff in a certain way that were very challenging and chaotic out there, it's just like, just really doing that kind of like reflection, just like, how can we just, change for the better and just be really being a better person, even like taking action to do that also. So when it comes to that, if you have to just like, be accountable of some things too, if you just want to apologize sincerely and authentically, whatever that may be too. So it's kind of like, yeah, even with me too as a man, because I've done some shit too that, I, have heard people before too in the past, just, when it comes to my naivete per se. And it's just like, reflecting on that and looking back at it now, it's just like, it's just like I can learn how to not hurt other people too. And especially when it comes to like with, with friendships and relationships. And it's just like, I can just really learn and just really to learn, to let go, to reflect, and to just really, be a better person on a regular basis. And if I make more mistakes and I continue to just learn and along the way too, and just really to repeat the whole process again. So it's kind of like, for people to do that, for people to just really do that in their own way too. How can you really just to learn to let go and to reflect and just really be a better person in your own way too, especially in their relationships with themselves, with other people, family, friends, lovers, co-workers, and especially in their environment also. So definitely.
And that is so true because now that I've started therapy and started understanding myself, my anxiety, my triggers, I understand others so much more deeply. Now that I've learned to be more compassionate to myself and judge myself less, I'm that much less judgmental to other people. So if you often find yourself alone on your weekends while others are partying and hanging out, that can be good. That's just that much more time to self-care and do you. That is all I have for you guys today. My next video is going to be on how to live a soft.
Okay, I'm gonna stop right there. So this is from It's Giving Growth. Shout out to her. She's not only an awesome and knowledgeable person, she's gorgeous too. I'm just saying it as a man. I mean, shit. I mean, just saying this respectfully. She is a gorgeous woman, and her video just popped up today too on my feed. I was like, damn, who is this lovely ass woman? And I was just in my mind, I was just saying it too. But when I was just sitting there and listening to her talk and what she's sharing about too, when it comes to loneliness and anxiety and social media too, and how we can really just deal with that also, especially if we're just having no friends in our lives too. it's just like, wow, that's some really deep stuff that she's sharing too. And she's, she knows what she's talking about, and she's a really awesome person too. So if you guys ever want to check out her channel too, especially the video that I posted too, I'm gonna link to it again too. So if you guys want to, check it out for yourself, especially for those who are watching this live and watching the replay too. So let's see here too. She says, yeah, I mean, sailors are loners too. I mean, I know my dad was in the Marine too, so it's kind of like he had a circle of friends, but also sometimes he was alone too. So that's true. That makes sense also when it comes to that. And she says, oh my God, Jay, I just had an epiphany. I realized that maybe if my son was a social popular teenager, he would be focused, more safe. Oh, wow. You just had an epiphany on that? Oh, shit. Okay. Socially popular. Okay. He has ADHD. Persist. To stick to this. Okay. So you also charge change on the limit of this. Yeah, I get that, and it's just like, like the change of just like, the limit of missing out. I mean, I totally get that. Sometimes, like, if we, like, say your friends are going out to party, but then it's kind of like, you're sitting with yourself too. If you just have to do something that's really important, if you have to, like, take an exam, take a test, or just, like, take care of business too when it comes to work, with education, I totally get that. So, definitely, I understand. I understand where you're coming from with that too, Shelby. And it's all good. I know you meant to say change. I understand. Sometimes when it comes to typing in the computer and all that, I mean, I know what I'm saying, but sometimes the words somewhat different. So even if it's like autocorrect, if that makes sense. So I totally understand where you're coming from with that, Shelby. So, but if you guys enjoyed the video also too, here is the link to the video also. I'll make sure to post it in the description too, so you guys can really check it out for yourselves as well. So when it comes to that, it was just really, the video from It's Giving Growth was very, well thought, explained, when it comes to what she was talking about. Very, very powerful. And I watched it. It's probably my third time watching it too. So if you subscribe to her also, It's Giving Growth, just really give a shout out, from yours truly, her 213, just seeing, her 213 sent you. So that'd be, if that's really cool to you, if you guys want to do that, feel free to do so. Yeah, so he says AI is, I mean, artificial intelligence. I get you on that. I feel you, Shelly. I feel you. So I understand, AI could be a pain in the ass, but sometimes it could be cool. You never know. So, hey, I totally get you on that too, my friend. So it's all good. It's all good. But anyways, but I have some awesome messages that we can all take for the week too, especially for those who are just listening and for those who are watching this live and watching the replay too. So when it comes to this message, also these messages for the collective, and these cards been sitting here for at least 7 hours also. So when it comes to marinating these messages, and feel free to comment if any of these messages resonate with you guys too. So let me see if I could show you the first card that I have for you guys also. So when it comes to reverence, also when it comes to this message right here, so it's really all about showing self-respect for yourself too. And it's like when it comes to this message for anyone who is watching this live and watching the replay, it's just really, have that self-respect for yourself too, especially when it comes to who you are as a person as well, when it comes to this powerful message here. So it's kind of like, how you respect yourself also really just reflects on you as a person. And when people see that, especially if you're just doing your own thing, you're by yourself, and it's just really, it's powerful, and especially when it comes to, having that self-respect for yourself too, knowing your value and your worth as a human being, whether you're a man, if you're a woman, if you identify yourself as straight, gay, transgender, you name it too. So having that self-respect about yourself too can really just, take you a long way too. It really just takes you far in life, if that makes sense to you guys too, when it comes to this message right here. If you guys could see that too, feel free to let me know, because I'm on my arm still too. Sometimes my arm can be a little shaky and just really moving it. But hopefully you guys can really see this message also. And just like when it comes to having that self-respect for yourself too, just really, knowing who you are as an individual when it comes to this powerful message. And I believe that I pulled this card before on Monday too. So when it comes to with individualization, especially when it comes to and how you identify yourself too, just really connecting with that from within. When it comes to with this message, just really owning to your embracing your identity. So basically, so when it comes to individualization in your identity, just really connecting with that from a powerful space and just really owning to who you are as a person. Just like don't be afraid to just embracing who you are also when it comes to your identity. So whether you're a straight man, if you're a straight woman, if you're a gay man, if you're a gay woman, whether you're black, white, Puerto Rican, Mexican, Jamaican, etc. Just really owning that also, especially when it comes to not only, having that self-respect for yourself, but also just really connecting to your identity also when it comes to individualization, when it comes to this powerful message here. And just like when it comes to how we can really take action with that also is just to really communicate that from a healthy space too. So when it comes to communication, and it's just like for all of us too to just really letting our voices be heard from a healthy space to where we can just really not only to having that self-respect for ourselves but also to really embracing who we are when it comes to our identity and just really saying that proudly with our voice too. So when it comes to with communication, just really connecting with that from a healthy space to just really taking action to just really, letting your voice be heard. And especially when it comes to being proud of who you are, and just like when it comes to with communication. So when it comes to this message, and just really, letting your voice be heard from a very healthy space too, where you can just really take action to just really letting your voice be heard, speaking your truth, and just really doing that from a healthy space also, especially if you're like on social media, if it's Facebook, if it's Instagram, if it's Snapchat, TikTok, Twitter, especially on YouTube also, just really letting your voice be heard too, especially when it comes to when it comes to practicing self-care and wellness, and just like when it comes to how you respect yourself, but also embracing who you are as a person when it comes to your own identity, and just really letting your voice be heard with that also when it comes to that too. So when it comes to with these powerful messages too, when it comes to with anyone who is watching this live and watching the replay. So when it comes to with these powerful messages, just really having that self-respect for yourself too, when it comes to this message right here, and just really how you guys can really just practice that in your own way too, just really putting your own spin to it from a healthy space to just really, having that self-respect for yourself, no matter what too, and just really doing that from a powerful, powerful, healthy place. And just really, taking the time for yourself to just really connecting with your identity also when it comes to with this powerful message here with individualization. So when it comes to embracing your identity, especially to who you are as a person too from within, just really appreciating that, and just really embracing that from within yourself too. And just really, doing that from a healthy space, even if it's the most difficult thing, to do also, and totally understandable. But when we take the time for ourselves to just really connecting to our identity and just really embracing our identity also when it comes to individualization, just really embracing that from within too when it comes to this message. And just really not being afraid to just letting our voices be heard too. So speaking your truth and just really, letting your voice be heard, speaking your truth no matter what, especially when it comes to, especially from a healthy place also to not only to showing that self-respect for yourself, but also to embracing your identity also when it comes to this message can really just take you far in life too. So if you're, a man who is just, embracing who he is as a man, as a black man, and just really, letting his voice be heard, embrace that. Same goes to women also. If you're a black woman, if you're straight, if you're gay, and if you just want to let your voice be heard too when it comes to who you identify, who you identify also, and just you want to just let it be known also from a healthy space with your own voice. Just really embrace that. Take action with that too. Even no matter what too, if you're black, if you're white, if you're straight, if you're gay, just really taking the time for yourself to just really let your voice be heard from a powerful space, and if it's, especially from a healthy and powerful space to where you can just really speak your truth, to stand up for yourself, and just really, especially when it comes to having that self-respect for yourself, and just really embracing who you are when it comes to with your identity, your inner identity also when it comes to this message. So, so when it comes to these messages, also, you're more than welcome to comment at any time as well if any of these messages resonate with you guys too. When it comes to these messages right here too, especially for the collective. So whether you are watching this live and watching the replay too, feel free to share your own feelings and thoughts about these awesome, powerful messages we go to. And much love to you guys also. So Shelby says just like my parents. So just as 60. That's true, Shelby. You're right about that. hmm There's definitely going to be some change too. You're right about that. Yeah, Generation Z is not going to tolerate that. That's for sure. Mm. How are my fur babies? They're good. So they were barking at my door too. So I'm kind of getting a little sleepy there too. But they've been pretty good. I mean, they've been doing their business. They've been, they always when they go to the bathroom, and especially they hang out with my dad. They always come to my door because I feed them their good food too. So I'm always feed them, like brush them, and I always make sure they got their bellies are full and they got their treats too. So they're doing good though, especially with Ricky and my cousin's dog Teddy too. So they're doing good. I think they're with my dad right now or in the laundry room, probably sleeping, but I just gotta really check up on them too. So, but thank you for asking that too, Shelly. So, I appreciate you guys for just asking, those kind of questions. So, let's see if I didn't miss any kind of questions from other people too. So, if you guys want like a message for today, I mean, if you guys want, a message for today before I wrap things up, you're more than welcome to ask me. If not, I can just wrap it up and we'll just call it a day. So, because I know I was just talking about with the video that I was sharing too, and it was kind of 60 minutes long. So, it's all good. If you guys do you want a message, you guys don't want a message, that's totally fine with me. And Shelby says, I have a cat now. In the cat. Oh, you got a. That's cool. That's awesome. Cats are awesome. So cats are very intuitive and very, tactical. I'll just say that because they're very smart and they kind of figure some stuff out too. And they're brave as hell. I mean, I seen a cat slap an alligator too. It's like, like that. They have no fear. They'll slap even the freaking dinosaur if they could. Sheesh. So if there's one animal I'll just fear besides snakes, it's cats. I mean, cats are unpredictable, intuitive, and fucking awesome. So yes, cats are awesome. So it's your daughter's cat. Oh, your daughter's partner's cat. Okay, cool, cool. That's what's up. That's what's up. Nice, nice. Cool stuff. So if anyone else wants a card for today, I definitely want to pull some cards for you guys. I mean, I still got energy to do so, but if not, I can totally wrap this up and we'll just call it a morning, night, afternoon, and night or something. So I'll just give you guys a few minutes. So do, do, do. Says people under 30 can't afford to live on their own, so you live with your parents if it's okay. Yeah, that's like with me too, because nowadays, people can't, especially people like my age. I'm 35, so it's like if I had the resources to live on my own, I'll do it in a heartbeat. But I like living with my parents too, because I could contribute and just really, get my stuff together too. So eventually, when the time is right, I can just really, be on my own feet, or eventually I can just really take care of the place that I'm in now. So eventually, too, with this house that I'm in too, I want to really take care of it too in the long term because this is a beautiful, beautiful home. And I lived in apartments for ever since I was a kid too, and I've been in a house too before also. But when it comes to just like I've been so many places too, from living in Orange County to just living here now. It's just like I like to be stable, especially if I want to just you know have a family someday or just like help people too. So I understand that, especially I get it because it's tough out there, and it's just like how we can really just support each other. It really goes a long way. Um, so what up, Steve? What's up, Steve? Good to see you, bro. Yeah, I'll pull a card for you, man. All good. So definitely will pull a card for you, bro. So definitely, the extended family has come. Yeah, definitely it has, Shelby. That's true. That's true. So yeah, definitely. All right, Steve, I'm gonna use this masculine messages for you too, if that's all right. So I'm gonna shuffle this deck real good and I'll pull a card for you, my friend. So let's see. Let's see. So hopefully you're doing good, Steve. And hopefully you're having an awesome morning, afternoon, or evening, wherever you are too. So I might pull a card for you and probably will end things on there too. So Steve, my boy. Steve. Let's see. Oh, what's this? Okay, interesting. All right. Okay, so it's midnight. Okay, gotcha. So shout out to the people who are just who are in the DC area too. So that's probably near where near Virginia is too, because I have some family in Virginia that's close to DC. So shout out to the DC people in the DC out there too. So I don't want a card. I'm still recovering from COVID. You can pull a card for me. Yeah, I'll definitely remember that, Shelly, for sure. So, Steve, I have an awesome and powerful masculine message for you too. So when it comes to your card for today, and feel free to comment if any of this message resonates with you too. So the card that I have for you is all about obstacles. So when it comes to with obstacles, just really taking action to overcome those kind of obstacles too. When it comes to any kind of challenges that you're going through, and just like when it comes to with any kind of challenges that you're going through in your life also. So when it comes to obstacles, especially when it comes to obstacles in our life also and how it comes to our lives in so many ways, and just really taking action to just really to overcome, but also understanding that too. So when it comes to with obstacles, just really taking a time for yourself to just really taking action to just really you know not only to overcome those obstacles, but really understand them also, understanding them as well, so you can really just learn from those obstacles and just really to learn to just really overcome them from a powerful space, if that makes sense to you. So when it comes to overcoming any kind of obstacles in your way too, just really taking healthy action with that too in your life as well. If this message resonates with you, Steve. So whether anything that you're going through when it comes to obstacles, just really taking the time for yourself to just really understand that and just really overcoming that as well from a healthy space. And that's the message that I have for you also. And so And she says always about mom holding. Yeah, definitely. So my heart goes out to you and to your mom also, Steve. So you got this, my friend. It's just like whatever kind of obstacles that are coming your way when it comes to you and your mom, just always know that you have the power to just really overcome that, especially when it comes to those obstacles. Even if you want to ask for some guidance too with your ancestors, with your guides too, when it comes to how you can really just overcome those obstacles as well. So when it comes to any kind of like complications or challenges along your way too, just really asking for guidance how you can really just overcome those obstacles. So hopefully, I'm glad this message was really helpful for you, Steve, and much love to you and your mom also. So, and hopefully that resonates with you too, Steve. So when it comes to this message, just really taking the time for yourself to just really overcome any obstacles that are coming your way, and just really asking for guidance about that also with your spirit team, with your ancestors, etc. Too. When it comes to what you're going through with your mom and with yourself as well. So, but anyways, I'm gonna let you guys go. So it's been like almost I know almost a 2 hours live stream too. I went over my regular time limit too. I was usually gonna keep it like an hour, but I did a little bit more for you guys, especially if I'm talking about something too. So thank you, Steve, Shelby, Michelle, all you guys in the chat room too who are popping in and saying hello and sharing your perspective. Chris, all you guys in the chat room too. So if you guys ever want to check out the video that we reacted to also, or if you guys want to check out the diffuser blends that I shared too on the screen too, feel free to check out the links below too. Even if you need help when it comes to seeking help from a professional perspective when it comes to your mental health, if you want to learn some more about essential oils, or you want to add me on social media, if you guys ever want to check out the video that I was sharing too earlier in this live stream, feel free to check out the links below too. Even if you guys love astrology, if you love pop culture references when it comes to fandom, or if you guys need some help creating some awesome YouTube stuff also when it comes to your content, feel free to check out the links below too. Especially with my Linktree also, if you guys ever want to add me on social media, if you guys want to book a session with me when it comes to with Reiki, with yoga, or if you guys want to check out my exclusive content, feel free to do so. If you guys want to send a donation, or if you guys want to just check out my wish list, you guys don't have to if you want to. Feel free to do so. So I'm not trying to. I'm not going to be that kind of person that just begs all the time. I'm just if you guys want to do that, that's totally up to you. But because I really do appreciate everyone's support when it comes to building this channel up also. And I'd like to see other people grow in their own way too. So if they're getting more subscribers, they're getting paid, and they love to do what they love to do from a healthy space. I'm all down for that shit. And yes, I cuss, god damn it. So yes, with that shit. So yes.
Language.
I don't care, Captain America. Cussing I want to. It's my damn stream. Live stream, god damn it.
Language.
Shit. I don't give a damn.
Language.
Shit. Oh man. Someone's gonna get me.
Sake, watch your language.
God damn it, man. So, but anyways, thank you guys for being here too. Much love to all you guys. Good night to your rep is Raskin. Oh, okay. Gotcha. Good night, Shelby. Good night, Steve. Good night to everyone who is watching this live and watching the replay. Or good morning or good afternoon to anyone who is watching the replay. You never know who's watching this in different time zones. So good morning, good afternoon, and good night to anyone who is watching the replay. And for those who are watching this live, may we continue to practice self-care that could benefit us, our loved ones, and our whole environment. And I'm looking forward to connect with you guys on Friday, because Friday is game day. If you guys want to vote for any kind of games that you want to see me play on, the Gaming Lounge community conversation. So I'm going to make a post about that. If you guys want to see me play different games that you guys want to have an open discussion about, it could be from Destiny to God of War, because whatever the kind of games to you that I have too. So I'm going to keep you guys updated when it comes to that. And Looking forward to seeing you guys Friday night and also Saturday night too, if you guys want to laugh and learn, have fun along the way too. Especially having spicy conversations as adults too. So, anyways, good night to you guys. For those who are living in the U.S., good night, good morning, good afternoon, good night, and I'll see you guys next time. So, peace and much love. Namaste. All right. So, where is that button?